Do you feel that this movie kind of has a Matrix in reverse vibe?
This is one of those movies where, yes, it's an action. There's like crime. There's like the mystery. But then it's also a sci-fi horror that gets so twisted. Psychological horror even. Like this movie is such an amalgamation of so many different genres. And it kind of nails them all. If you hold up The Matrix versus The Cell, I mean, visually, The Cell is going to take it. Like, it's absolutely stunning. It's done so well. And I think it's one of those movies that is truly unique in its own form. Like, there's really nothing else like The Cell.
Welcome to the Cinema Psycho Show, the madhouse for film freaks and film fans of all types. I'm your host, Brian Kyneton, and I'm not joined by my usual co-host, John Woolscroft, but I am joined by an awesome guest co-host. You saw her last week. She's back again for more. I've got Jordan the Grey Witch, to come on, and we're kicking off spooky season right. So welcome, Jordan, back to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back. I'm excited. I'm excited
for
this one, guys.
This can be a fun one. And like, you might have thought like, oh yes, you know, us talking last week about weapons was the start of spooky season. Not really. I mean, granted, we started in September, but this is officially the start of spooky season, and we're coming out hot with a movie that I definitely hadn't seen in a very long time. Like, I think I saw this way back in like 2001, 2002 when it came to like video, and that is The Cell, a movie that is really fucking disturbing as all hell, but so deliciously good. Right.
I love The Cell. I was like, I think, I don't remember which, did you bring it up or did I bring it up?
I think you brought it up.
That's like not surprising. Yeah. So The Cell, I remember seeing it when it came out originally, and that movie scared me.
Yeah. Like,
it's scary. And it was 2000 when it came out. So I was 14, right? Mm-hmm. So I was young when it came out. And I remember so many scenes that like stuck with me for years. And then I had to have a reappreciation for the movie when I was older to see, you know, what it's really about. Because when you're 14, you can't really perceive like all the layers of The Cell. So I just rewatched it. Oh my God.
It's I'll tell you something. I was surprised by how gory and just unnervingly disturbing it was. Like, I remember seeing this, and I remember going like, oh yeah, the belly scene with the crank intestines. I'm like, yeah, that's disturbing. But like, when she first enters his mind, and you see, I think I wrote down, because I actually did write down notes. I think I called it the Nightmare Doll Harem. I'm like, yeah, that's a lot for 2000.
Oh my gosh. I feel like I don't think it even did that well, did it? I know that the costume designer got nominated for sure, because she's also Aiko Ishiyoko. Mm-hmm. She also did Bram Stoker's Dracula. And when you know that, you can kind of see the influence in the wardrobe for both of the movies. And this is one of those movies where, yes, it's an action. There's like crime. There's like the mystery. Mm-hmm. But then it's also a sci-fi horror that gets so twisted. Psychological horror even. Like, this movie is such an amalgamation of so many different genres, and it kind of nails them all, especially for 2000. Like, I couldn't believe how well it held up when I just watched it again. I feel like this is one of the movies that I've always recommended to people, and now I'm like, oh, I was correct the whole time. That movie's sick.
Yeah, no, I mean, The Cell, I remember it really being like a landmark because of production design and because of costumes. Like, that was what everyone was talking about, was like, did you see The Cell? You see how insane the costumes were? And I think it's also worth mentioning, like, this is J-Lo kind of starting her big, like, acting career. Like, obviously she had been in other things at the time. Like, in 98 and 99, she was in some stuff. But it really wasn't until The Cell happened that people started to really look at her as an actor, where, you know, nowadays it's kind of the opposite, right? Like, I can't even think of a thing that J-Lo was in recently that I'm like, oh yes, that was not a crash and burn film like Geely, you know. But like, The Cell really was like let's test her acting chops. Although I'm going to give shade to this movie on one thing. There's a scene early on in the film that I'm just like, did we need to have this scene in here? Did J-Lo need to be dressed the way she is? Okay, I mean, this is jumping around a little bit. But there is a scene early in the film when J-Lo is in her apartment, okay? And she's like...
in front of the computer and you can see her butt?
Well, it's all ass. Like, the whole thing is fucking ass. And I'm just like...
I think she was probably like, you got to put my ass in this movie, guys. That's the only way I'm doing it.
I mean, maybe, but at the same time, I'm going like, you're trying to be a professional actor. Get outside of that, not really play into the whole look at my ass thing. And we've got you in a scene where quite literally 80% of this scene is her ass.
I mean, it could have been a directorial choice, but I mean, who knows? I mean, she's also...
It's a male gaze thing, man.
Yeah, I mean, she's also later in the movie, she's in like that see-through black leotard, which is the bed. Yeah, so like she's definitely like, I mean, of course, it's J-Lo, so like she's beautiful. But there's definitely some wardrobe choices where I'm like, all right, J-Lo, yeah.
I mean, her wardrobe choices in the film, like during the dream sequences, are amazing. But like, it was that scene, I'm just like, this was a dude's choice. Like, this was totally a dude being like, we've got fucking J-Lo here. Let's make it real creepy, real. Just one scene, right? For the trailer. Like
they probably did put it in the trailer.
Of course it was in the trailer. But that was the one where I'm just like, did we really need to have that in there? But if you've never seen The Cell, I do have a little bit of what I'm calling Brian reads directly from IMDb, because I'm not going to write it down. So if you've never seen The Cell, this is the IMDb synopsis. Jordan, should I do it in the movie theater voice? Like the movie trailer voice? Okay. An FBI agent persuades a social worker who is adept with a new experimental technology to enter the mind of a comatose serial killer in order to learn where he has hidden his latest kidnap victim. Dun dun.
Dun dun dun. Dun, dun, dun. Summer 2000.
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
was it summer? I think it was.
I think it was summer 2000. I think it was. But yeah, this is a weird one, as you mentioned. Like, it is half like crime drama. Like, I could see this being like a thread in an episode of Law and Order Special Victims Unit, and I can also see it being a straight up horror movie. So it's weird that these two like genres mashed together in this way that I really think elevate it beyond just being horror, kind of like Seven is. Like, Seven, very much in my mind, even though it's got a crime drama element, it's a pure fucking horror movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this one is kind of, it plays both sides.
So I agree. It's not just a crime drama. It's a mystery. It's a thriller. It's a sci-fi. Mm-hmm. If you think about it, the medical technology, I would kick it into sci-fi. I mean, we're visiting. I mean, do you want to talk about what the movie's about? Like, he has to go into her mind, right? So yeah, it's literally this. I mean, the premise of the movie starts with, J-Lo, Dr. J-Lo. She's going to go into.
That's what we're going to call it. She doesn't have a name. It's just Dr. J-Lo.
So Dr. J-Lo in the movie is going into this little boy's mind who's in a coma, right? So he's in a coma and his parents are really rich. So they paid her to it's like experimental technology, right? To go into their son's mind to try and remove him from the coma, right? Like, that's the whole jam. And then the FBI nails this serial killer who just so happens to also be in a coma. So they're like, let's go get Dr. J-Lo. We're going to put her into the mind of the serial killer. And she's going to tell us where this girl is. And this is like the true crime aspect, the anxiety factor, right? The, oh no, because we're on a time clock. So anytime there's a time constraint, the anxiety goes through the roof because you've got this girl that's stuck in essentially a giant fish tank that's going to drown. And so the whole point is, Officer Vince Vaughn is coming along. He's going to rescue the girl. And he's got to, of course, team up with Dr. J-Lo to do it. And then we get to go into people's minds. That's the whole movie. It's wild.
I want to ask you this question. So this movie came out in 2000, and it's only a couple months removed from The Matrix. Do you feel that this movie kind of has a Matrix in reverse vibe and directed towards grown-ups? Because I kind of got that vibe from the film.
Now I do, yeah. If you put it into that perspective, a couple months from the Matrix, if you think about it, because Matrix was 99, right? So if
Yeah,
Matrix
it was like, I'd say like April, May of 99.
just like 98 through 2000 was like such good years for movies, I feel
It really
like.
was.
Really just prime. But The Cell, I think The Cell didn't get as much fanfare, of course, as The Matrix did. Like The Matrix was super mainstream, but I find The Cell to be like, if you hold up The Matrix versus The Cell, I mean, visually The Cell is going to take it. Like it's
100%.
absolutely stunning. It's done so well. And I think it's one of those movies that is truly unique in its own form. Like there's really nothing else like The Cell. There's other films that the people have worked on it that you can see that influence, like the costume designer, stuff like that, and the set design. But genuinely, like The Cell is so unique in its script, and it in and of itself is just a one of a kind.
Yeah, it's a thing where I mentioned that I feel the Matrix and this one are kind of like close cousins, but the only difference to me is that the Matrix's whole premise was that you're stuck in the dream, right? Like the Matrix is the dream world and you're getting out. Whereas this one is almost that in reverse. It's you're going into the dream world. And the representation of what that dream world is so interesting because, with reality trying to be a fake dream world thing, it's how close can we get reality to look like the dream, right? Like how close. But in this film, it is how MC Escher, how Salvador Dali-esque can we get with making this dream world not only be so outside the bounds of physics, but be so tied to the internal struggle of the character that you're in their world.
Yes. And the fact that, the antagonist of the movie, the serial killer, he has a fractured psyche. He has schizophrenia. So you're already dealing with a psyche that's abnormal with a serial killer, right? And on top of that, he has schizophrenia. So you're using this experimental, technology to enter this man's brain, which is essentially just like sailing a ship in the dark when you don't have your glasses on, right? Like, and don't know how to sail. So you're just taking a shot in the dark, and they're throwing J-Lo into this mess. And the representation of this man's psyche is, for somebody who loves serial killers and loves stuff like that, I gotta say it's good, right? So I mean, his background is that of abuse, physical, sexual, mental, religious abuse, like this young boy, and we know that that's what makes a serial killer. So for the true crime aspect of this movie, they're accurate. And then you kind of move into the metaphysical aspect, right? Like his mind, I guess that would be metaphysical. I'm not even sure, like what you would consider that, the psyche that they're traveling in, right? That dream realm is terrifying. Like it's like the scenes, like I will genuinely say there are scenes in The Cell that are horrifying.
Yeah.
Actually horrifying to watch. And especially watching it for the first time. Like rewatching it, I was like, oh, they did this so well. It's so good. But watching it for the first time, it's going to scare you.
100%. 100%. I mean, what I love about it, because you're mentioning about the serial killer, I think it's worth mentioning him. So what's interesting about the serial killer in this, Karl Rudolph Starger, is that that the writing and directing and acting are all on point when you feel sympathy for the villain. Yeah. The scene where J-Lo is locked in a closet and she is watching the abuse that the little kid version of the serial killer went through with the sadistic father. And like, I forgot how horrible that stuff was. Like, I saw this movie way back when I was in high school. So I hadn't seen it since then. Just because I don't think The Cell is a movie that you want to watch like on a Sunday. It's not one that you're like, oh, what do I want to do? What do I want to do on Sunday? I mean, I could watch The Sandlot or I could watch The Cell. I think I might choose The Sandlot. But it's a thing where, like, I forgot how horrifying that scene was. And it actually made me feel bad for the serial killer. And that is, one, it makes you really think about, like, oh, are serial killers born or are they made? And that is something that, a lot of criminologists have struggled with in trying to analyze the psyche. And it's exactly, it's a little bit of both, because all you're shown up until this point is this sadistic man who, abducts women, puts them into a, waterproof cell, turns them into fucking bleached blonde dolls, and gets off while wearing hooks above them. I'm assuming that's what he's doing. Well, he's suspended.
Suspension.
I'm assuming that's what he's doing. That's my guess. But it's such a deranged viewpoint. And then the moment when you're presented with that scene, there's a part of you that's going like, I feel bad for this person.
I think
that's just great writing, great directing, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, it's meant to be, and Dr. J-Lo's character, she really empathizes with the young boy as well, because she's treating a young boy. So I think she empathizes with the young boy version of the killer, because the young boy version was innocent. He was a child that was abused, that was turned into that. Now, while serial killers, like the psychology behind them, they definitely are born with a certain proclivity, right, to become that, but it takes certain steps to get them there.
Yeah.
And those certain steps almost always include neglect and abuse and the things that, we saw happen to him, sort of that activate that, capability, the gene, the nature nurture, sort of like the perfect storm to make a serial killer.
Yeah.
So they portray that beautifully, I think, to show like all of his trauma in the past as to how he, became this monster. And that's also the scene that she gives him, the
little mirror locket. For our audio only audience who isn't seeing this, Jordan has a little mirror locket thing, just like in the film.
It's one of my show and tell
Jordan
items.
Came with props. Okay, she came with props, made me look like a chump. I don't got any props, but she came with props.
These are actually great for festivals, like when you wear them, because people always want to see what they look like or fix things. And you can also literally use them for that reason, to get someone's attention from across the field. You can.
Have you done that a couple times? You've like gone to like Renfest and been like, I'm going to shine this in your eyeballs.
Get somebody. I used to do it in the nightclub when I was like a hostess, but like you could get someone's attention if you,
Very cool. Very cool. Well, let's
got
talk
more toys.
You've got more. I trust you got more toys. So let's talk a little bit about Dr. J-Lo, because Dr. J-Lo is interesting. There's a line in this film which made me pause and go like, okay, movie, what are you doing here? Where it's Dylan Baker is describing Dr. J-Lo to Vince Vaughn. And he is saying, and I don't know, Jordan, if you caught this, but he's saying like, yes, we interviewed hundreds of thousands of applicants, the best psychologists from around the globe, and they all were terrible. However, Dr. J-Lo, the most inexperienced out of all of them, was good. And I'm just going like, okay, do you really want someone who maybe they're good, but they're inexperienced going inside of children's minds?
I mean, it's 2000. I feel like they got away with more shit like that back then.
I know, but it's one of those things. Like, and I know I'm nitpicking on stuff. Oh, this is a great film. I'm not gonna lie and say it's a bad movie. It's a great film, but there are things like that, and I'm just like, why would you say that? Why wouldn't you? Why would you say she's inexperienced? And
why wouldn't you make up that she's like the person, like the leader in that field? That would use more sense
different
for the plot,
word
right?
for it, or use a different word. Maybe don't say inexperienced. Maybe say something like, she's only had like 5 or 10 years under her belt. Like that's still a lot of experience, but like
she's new, but she's good.
Yeah, saying, oh yeah, she's inexperienced. Like I don't think you'd hear a guy character described that way.
No. They would call him a rookie.
They'd say, "Oh yeah, well he's a rookie."
Yeah.
But there's like a connotation with it that I'm just like, that's kind of what the fuck, man. Like
that era.
I know, like movies from that time, and I know I'm gonna get some person in the comments who's like, Brian, why you being all woke, dude? It's like, no, it's not that. It's just I'm calling out this movie has some questionable things, like saying that and showing Jennifer Lopez's ass for a whole scene.
I didn't mind it.
I'm not saying I minded it. I'm just saying, like, why is this in a movie about serial killer?
Well, you know what?
It's a horror movie.
I think that's a good point. I think that's a good point, though. I think that they do braid in, especially in the scene when, Officer Vince Vaughn's character goes into the dream realm, right? And joins Dr. J-Lo when she's stuck there, because she gets stuck, right? And she's on this bed, right? And it's like hypersexualized because she's like in some kind of like. I viewed her
as like she's the queen. Like that's her queen moment of this realm.
She's got the red and the thing on her face, and she's like wearing the lace, and she's on this big red bed. And so then you see something hypersexualized because she's like, oh, I'm gonna make out with Officer Vince Vaughn for a little bit because I'm nuts in the dream realm. And as that's going on, what's gonna happen next, which is he's gonna get disemboweled by some crazy version of the serial killer. Like crazy King Carl comes in and plays that scene. You know the scene?
Let's talk about that scene, because this is if nothing else, and I don't care if you are a diehard horror fan, if you aren't twisting in your seat watching this scene, you aren't human. Okay? I don't know anyone who's be like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have a bowl of spaghetti and meatballs while watching that scene. I'd be like, you're not human. There's something fucked up with you.
I don't know what it is about disemboweling, but it always.
You know what it is? Here's what it is. That scene has one of the starkest color palettes I've ever seen. So like it is hyper contrast on everything. You've got the blood. It's like brown. It's like a brownish blood. And on top of that, you've got Vincent D'Onofrio literally having the most fun I've seen him in any movie. Like, don't get me wrong, he's an amazing actor. He's got little teeth. He's just ripping the guts out. You've got Vince Vaughn screaming, but it's muffled screams.
Yeah. Like a nightmare. Like you can't be heard.
Yeah. And he's just pulling. And I think the reason why it's so disturbing is because, let's be honest here, we have all had a nightmare very much like that. Not necessarily disemboweling, but like, have you ever had the nightmare where like your eyes are cut out or your teeth are falling out or your fingernails are falling? Like those sort of like bodily ones where you immediately wake up and you've almost got like a weird phantom limb thing that happens because your brain is trying to like say, hey, is everything okay down where we got injured in the dream world? Like that's why I think that is so visceral to us.
Yeah, it's done really well, that scene. And again, like what I was saying is that they do that in the movie. They go from like a hyper-sexualized scene to an absolutely horrific, gory scene. And I fear that a lot of horrors do this, right? Like there's going to be a sex scene and then murder, right? So it's always sort of braided in. And I think that this movie does a really good job of keeping these elements of like, oh, J-Lo's in the apartment. She's in her underwear. She's smoking a joint, even though she's a doctor. And she's hanging out. Or
she's not a medical doctor, Jordan. She's a psychotherapist. But she works with kids,
and you are not allowed to smoke weed. I know that.
Okay, fair enough. There's never been any psychiatrist who's ever smoked weed.
No, I mean, for sure. But I'm saying like now, I'm like, you can't work with kids and be smoking J's. I know this.
You can't be walking smoking J's.
So she's smoking. She's like, oh, look at me in my underwear in my apartment smoking my J. Oh, I'm J-Lo. Woo. Whatever. I don't know. So like that's I gotta sing her. Anyway, so she's sitting in her apartment. She's all cool. And then, of course, it's like horror, right? Yeah. So it's like, ooh, look at my bum. And then horror. It really does a good job of keeping you between the action, the mystery, the crime, the sci-fi, horror. Like, it's really all of these things in once. And genuinely, there are not a lot of movies even close to like this. So
No, there really aren't. Let's talk a little bit about we talked about Kathy, we talked about King Carl. Let's talk about the costume design in this, right? Like this is so like it when you see a movie like this, there's really two things that kind of bring it together and I think really elevate it. And that is one, the costume, and one, the set. So let's talk about the costumes in this. You can tell that this is Bram Stoker's Dracula, like, to another level, right?
I'm so glad you brought that up, because that brings me to my second prop.
Oh, what you got?
So, the costume designer, Aiko Ishioko,
Yeah.
who did Bram Stoker's Dracula, very importantly, his helmet.
Oh, shit.
You want to describe it
for our audio-only listeners? What Jordan has is a Bram Stoker's Dracula. I would say this is the knight, like when he is the prince knight. It's that reddish armor. It's a helmet, but it's a purse.
It's a purse. Yeah.
It's
by the brand. The brand is La Femme and Noir, and Bill bought it for me last year. It is one of the coolest purses that I have. But the whole point is that it was designed by Aiko Ishioko, who also did the costume design for The Cell. So if you look at, for instance, the bodysuits that they wear to get into the dreaming realm, it's this same material. You can literally see it. It's made of the same thing. So when you know that, you're like, oh, wow, she really did do both of those. So you can see the inspiration like within the two films. So this is the second show and tell item we have.
No, I mean, it is.
Continue, Bram Stoker.
Well, I mean, you know, the costume design in Bram Stoker's Dracula was so groundbreaking. And honestly, it's one of my things where that's what's made that film really stick. You know, is the costumes.
Everything with that one.
And, you know, with this one, Aiko takes it to a whole other level because she has the freedom to, right? Like, that's the beauty of it, is that because you are trying to depict these two personalities, especially. Like, and I even saw it in things that weren't even in the dream world, right? Like, the costumes that the scientists are wearing, they're all monotone brown.
Yeah.
You know? So it extends even there. But, you know, getting back to the dream world, you know, between J-Lo's costumes when she is inside of Edward's head, which are these flowing white, feathery type of costumes in this stark desert setting, to when she is kind of in the seductress type queen where she's finally been infected a bit by Starger's personality, right? Where that is rubbed off on her. You know, it is night and day, and like there's so much attention that went into him. Like, and Starger comes off as one of those terrifying people in every iteration that King Starger version comes out of.
Oh yeah, terrifying.
You know, like you've got the King version, you've got the reptile version, you have this other weird one where he's got almost like a hair that's like a horn.
Yeah, he has so many different versions, right?
Up.
So,
and I almost didn't realize that it was him. Like, I almost didn't realize that was Vincent D'Onofrio in a couple of them, because I'm like, it doesn't look anything like him.
He did such a good job with this. Anytime you feel strange about the actor, like afterwards, you know they did a really good job with the role. So this is one of those ones where you're like, oh, like he strikes me like because of this movie where you're like, oh, it makes me feel strange because he plays such a good serial killer. Yeah. You know, his in this sort of fragmented psyche that he has, this fractured psyche where he has all these different elements of him, when most of the elements of him are monstrous, mind you. And then there's sort of the one element that isn't monstrous, which is the young boy. And that sort of reminded me, if you've seen Identity. Yes.
That's a good point to bring up.
So the movie Identity, if you guys aren't familiar, it's sort of about somebody that has DID, dissociative identity disorder, and he has all these different psyches, and one of the psyches is a serial killer, but the other ones aren't. And so the FBI is trying to figure out, you know, can we stop the one psyche? Well, in The Cell, you know, Carl's character, the serial killer, all of his personalities are monsters, save for one. So it's literally the exact opposite of Identity, where it's like he's monstrous, and then of course Dr. J-Lo, she empathizes with the little boy version, which is the only one that's a victim. But I wanted to loop back around to the point when, do you remember when you know, Officer Vince Vaughn lands in the dream realm, and he lands in the field, and then you see the three women with like deep throating the moon? You know, I don't know how else to describe it, you know what I'm saying?
No, that's it.
Deep throating the moon. So the three of them, but they're the representation of Carl's mother.
Yes.
So that's how he sees her, as like a whore on her knees, like saying mean things about him because she left when he was young. So, but one of the things that the mother,
because she says, well, it's interesting.
Says, right?
She says like, one nice thing, one mean thing, and then one nice thing. Like it's broken. Like, because
Yes.
obviously in his mind, he has some sort of appreciation for his mother, but at the same time, like, that negative connotation is also in there. But yeah, she is kind of deep through the moon. Yeah.
One of the mothers says, "My son is an abomination.
Yeah.
He has no soul." So the mother says that in the son's psyche. So whether or not we know if the mother said this or whether that's what he thinks his mother thinks of him, but then again, that's still the young boy, right? Like, that's still the young boy that has this representation of the mother. So if you, I mean, oh my gosh, the layers to this movie are just, there's so many. Like, when it goes into everything, it seeps into the sound, it seeps into the costumes, the sets, literally everything, every tiny little detail building this character's, terrible fractured psyche is built into everything within this movie. The dream realms, the way he looks, everything about it kind of all leads back to this religious trauma and physical and mental and sexual abuse from his own father.
Yeah. Yeah. The sets in this, because you mentioned the sets, I absolutely love the set design in this film. Absolutely stunning. And this is the thing, like, this is right at the cusp, I'd say, of mass adoption of CGI. Like, there's clearly CGI in it, and there's some moments in the movie where you're just like, yeah, that CGI doesn't look good. But it's not the entire film. And I honestly attribute that to, like, them realizing the limitations of it. And you can tell that there must have been some practical design in these sets, especially ones where you're like, you're seeing the little boy, but he's further away, but still close in camera. And he's like in another, like, they clearly have had multiple sets set up to do that. Or maybe they might be using optical printer technology. I don't know. This was 2000. But there's also, like, moments where there's forced perspective too. Like
it is gorgeous. Every scene is gorgeous.
The scene where J-Lo realizes that she's in the dream without realizing she's in the dream, she's small compared to them in the bed. And I'm like, that's fucking forced perspective. And I love that, because you just don't see that in modern films anymore. My background is in VFX and CGI and all that stuff. I love that thing, but there is something to actually doing it practically and trying to make it practical as much as possible and in camera as much as possible. And this is one of those movies that absolutely nails it.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. Genuinely, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. The entire movie is so beautiful, from, like I said, from everything from the sets to the wardrobe to everything is done in a way. And like you were saying, like the forced perspective, but also there are so many scenes that just defy reality, because it's not reality, it's a psyche. So there are scenes where she falls and then she's not falling, she's floating, or like, there's so many, like, gravity is not right, time isn't right, everything's as it would be in a psyche. And the different psyches between the serial killer, we see the two, we see the little boy, we see the two I would say doctors, but Dr. J-Lo, we see her psyche, and then we see the serial killer psyche. So we see, like, a crazy serial killer psyche. We see the little boy's psyche who's stuck in coma, which is, that representation is a desert. And then we see J-Lo's psyche, which is this, she sort of manifests as the Holy Mother to appeal to the child version of the serial killer, because he was missing his mother and he needed a mother. And so she saw the Virgin Mother on the card before she invites him into her mind, right? Because she flips the script and she invites him into her mind. And her mind is this beautiful oasis with a water and peacocks and, cherry blossoms. And she's this, like, virginal representation of the Holy Mother, as opposed to, this the sort of the Madonna whore complex that we saw in Carl's adult psyche, right? So she's appealing to the mother aspect that the child would still revere as godlike. And he does. He comes to the mother, and, like, that's how she gets him, right? By sort of applying that technique that he needed someone to listen to and just wanted to be loved as a little boy. And he never had that, and that turned him into a monster.
Yeah. What I do find interesting, and this is something that I thought about, I'm like, I don't know if this is a good idea, was in the beginning of the film, and it comes back around towards the end, which, again, that's great storytelling that you do that. But, Dr. J-Lo really wants to reverse the feed, meaning that she brings in comatose people into her brain, okay, into her mind. Sounds like a bad idea. I mean, I'm just thinking, I'm just like, okay, when you go inside of someone's head, you have complete control because you have they have a little like thing that's implanted into her hand that she like, it's like a kill switch. Right? Yeah, it's a sci-fi. It's a kill switch. Yeah. Little kill switch. So if shit gets real, just click that button on your thumb and boom, you're out of there. It's like when you're in a dream and you look up, like if you ever had a bad dream and you like look up and you actually get out of the dream, it's like that. But she, in her superior wisdom, maybe this is the point where you're just like, maybe this is why she's inexperienced, thinks it's a good idea to invite people into her mind. You know, right. Thinks that's the good idea. Because I'm just like, maybe don't invite the serial killer into your brain. Maybe we don't do that, because I have seen too many horror movies where like I'm like, okay, you know, that psyche now is in you. Like you now have the serial killer psyche.
Right? Like it could be like an infestation. Like yes. You got it now. Like you caught that gross psyche and now you're fucked, right? Like you don't want that.
Yeah. There is a Denzel Washington movie that has exactly that, where he's basically a detective and he's chasing off it's called Fallen. It's from I think the late 90s.
Wait, Fallen, that's when the devil like touches him?
Well, it's not the devil. It's basically a serial killer is killed and his soul switches.
That one. Is that the one where he's in the electric chair and you see the guy in the
Yeah.
I remember.
So I'm like, I'm getting the vibe. I'm like, okay, this is a Fallen situation here, right? You're going to get the serial killer into your brain and then he's going to be stuck there because he has nowhere else to go. So like I was like, this is not a good idea, but okay, Dr. J-Lo, you're the expert. But yeah, like she eventually gets him into her brain where, yes, she gets time to talk to the little boy version. The little boy version morphs into the adult version and gives this very, I would say, you know, piece of exposition, because that's what it is. I killed a bird once because I didn't want my father to do it.
Right.
And it's like, oh, that's lovely. But the whole point is that he's like, it was a mercy kill. Yeah. Okay. And this is important because, as I said, infestation can happen. That's exactly what happens.
Serial killer gets in.
Yeah, serial killer gets in.
Got the virus. Got him.
but apparently it goes on like, you know, weird. You know, I would say this is where the movie gets a little goofy. It's like, well, this is J-Lo's mind, so it's J-Lo's rules. I'm like, okay, Freddy Krueger, I get it. Yeah. I get it now. This is how we're doing this. We're Freddy Kruegering this shit. It does
have a dash of Freddy. It's got some Freddy.
It's got some Freddy in there. So yeah, it's suddenly J-Lo's got warrior stuff on. She's kicking ass, beating the shit out of the reptile version, and of course, because it's the movie and we need to have some sort of tie to it, that is actually hurting the little kid version. So her beating the shit out of reptile because they're the same person, right? Like that's the thing is, anyway you slice it, it's same one psyche that's just split into these different versions of them.
Mm-hmm. You know, just like Identity.
Just like Identity.
It's got a splash of Identity. It's got a splash of Freddy.
Yep. That would be funny if Freddy showed up in this movie. I could see that being an end credit scene to the cell. Like Dr. J-Lo decides, oh yes, I'm going to bring Edward into my brain, and boom, that's where Freddy shows up.
Oh my God.
I'd pay to see that movie.
And then he just threads Dr. J-Lo and is like, ha ha.
Yeah. What's happening? Or like in the suit, like his claw pops up, like just pops through the suit. Yeah. I'm writing movies right now.
Here we go.
Now, one thing we didn't talk about yet is how FBI agent Vince Vaughn, through some bizarro means, is able to figure out. I still don't know how the hell he put two and two together.
Of like where they were?
Yeah, like where the final victim was at.
So it had something to do with the Carver sales of the
Yeah.
equipment, right? They could track who bought it, and then
Yes.
they
So
tracked
it was
right?
a whole thing that while he was inside of Starger's mind, apparently there was the dream version of the cell, right? The dream version of the cell that the victims go into, and it's covered in these Carver symbols. So like he's putting two and two together, being like, oh, the Carver symbol must be associated with where she is at. And through kind of a weird Rube Goldberg sense of logic, he ends up figuring out that where she's at, and she's in and who I'm talking about is of course the victim in this. It's always a race against the clock, and that's the interesting thing about this. Of trying to rescue this woman before she is drowned and turned into a porcelain doll.
Yeah.
And sure enough, they find her at some, abandoned, farm thing, and she is rescued, and everything's fine. Like, that's
and Dr. J-Lo keeps the dog.
Little weird.
Yeah.
Little weird.
I don't know. That's a pretty, I used to train dogs, so German Shepherds are excellent dogs.
I mean, very cute dog.
I'd probably take that dog too.
But here's the thing. It also, for me, does make me think, okay, did Starger's personality get stuck in your head, Dr. J-Lo?
Oh, dun dun dun!
I'm just saying. Like, there's so many. One, they could have absolutely.
Why don't they make a Cell 2 with J-Lo reliving as the serial killer? Like, what if he's in there?
I guarantee you, Jordan, someone thought about that. Guarantee you, someone was like, "We can make the Cell 2."
That might revive her career.
Dr. J-Lo, axe murderer. but yeah, I saw that and I'm just going, okay, you're gonna keep the dog from the serial killer because it's a cute dog, don't be wrong, but
it's a pretty dog, yeah.
The dog also was an accessory to a lot of these kidnappings. Like, that's the thing.
To the dog, though, to be fair,
True. Not gonna blame the dog, but I am saying that the dog was being trained to be an accessory to kidnappings and serial killings.
Yep.
Also, the way that they found Starger to begin with is a little easy in the sense that they're like, wait a minute, a dog fur led them to tracking this person down in a matter of minutes.
Yeah. Like, listen, if you're going to run DNA on a dog, you can tell what breed it is. You can tell all that.
Yeah.
So if this was a, albino German Shepherd, you'd be able to tell that by the hair, but also, do you know how many dogs probably have that, in them? I guess it would be rare, but, it wouldn't be a minute later you'd find the dog,
No, it wouldn't be
lot of luck in this movie.
And granted, this is still not, 2000, maybe 1999 if we're going by when they probably filmed it. Yeah. So I'm like, the internet wasn't all that great. Like, it was good, but it still wasn't all that great.
That's why 99. I think it's a sci-fi. Because,
oh, yeah. No, there is total sci-fi elements. I mean, the whole fact that you're going inside of people's dreams is definitely one thing. But, whatever. I mean, the suspension of disbelief in this film is much easier for me to do than some other films. And that's the sign of a good sci-fi horror type movie, is when you put in just enough to be like, yeah, this is maybe 5 years down the road, rather than so
crazy.
Far out there removed that you can't get into it.
I also think it's super funny when it's so far removed, and then when we get to that year, we laugh at the technology they thought we would have.
Yes.
Or it's so archaic still. It's still funny.
Yeah, I still crack up when I look at Back to the Future Part 2 and see a lot of the technology. You're just like, okay, I'm going to send you a fax, and everyone's got a fax machine. You're fired. It's like, oh, that didn't happen, dude. All right. Are you ready to get to some reviews? Because since John's not here, you get to be, surprised by the reviews. So,
sweet. Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
Okay.
Maybe I'll be able to see them this time.
I think you might be able to. Okay. I'm going to try to do this here. So, and we'll start at the top here. So, at the top, Everybody hating on J-Lo needs to get sent to the cell.
That's right.
Why were people hating on J-Lo? That makes no sense to me.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Oh God, I'm gonna get hate for this. Listen,
No,
I'm prepared. I would have liked to see someone else in the role.
Well, okay, why? Why do you want to see someone else in the role?
I don't know. I just feel like she's beautiful. I'm not going to hate on her. She's beautiful.
You were a body double for her.
Oh, yeah. When I was a model.
People don't know that.
Confidence, Brian. Yeah, it was a photo shoot a long time ago in Hollywood. I was the body model for a supplement called Body Lab, and J-Lo endorsed it. So like all the bottles had me on it, and then it was like her signature over my abs. So it was like the body double.
It's like, yes, I am J-Lo.
Yeah, like that's the only connection I have to her. No, she's beautiful. Like I'm not gonna knock her. I just like for something like that, I'm like, she's so beautiful and tiny. Like I would kind of want someone, I don't know, maybe a little weird, maybe a little nerdier, like a scream queen kind of,
Yeah.
you know, like something like that. And again, you know, I'm not knocking it. Please don't hang on. Listen, she's beautiful, but I just mean like someone grittier. Like I don't know, like Shelley Duvall. I don't know. Something along those lines. You feel me?
I mean, here's the thing. I look at it as someone whose job, their job is to go inside people's brains.
Right.
That's not going to be someone who is as gorgeous as J-Lo. Like it is a little weird. And someone's going to be like, "Well, Brian, why are you stereotyping?" I'm like, "I'm not. I'm just saying J-Lo is fucking gorgeous." But in my head, maybe someone who is a bit more goofy, like I could see, I could see someone like
Uma Thurman. I don't know.
Yeah, I could see
some kind of Mila Jovovich. Somebody like that. I feel. Do you know what I
could see some like manic pixie dream girl type of person, someone who's kind of weird and goofy, and like you know who I would think. Uma Thurman in Batman and Robin when she was Poison Ivy, but before she became Poison Ivy, like she was kind of goofy looking. Yeah. And it would here's the thing, that would make sense a lot because when she then goes into the dream world, maybe that's where she's beautified and gorgeous, right?
Yeah. That's what I mean. She kind of, you know, listen, like, and I'm not going to like, you know, pretty shame her. God, no. She's beautiful. It's just, you know, like for her age and for the profession, like when she was filming it, it was like, oh, is that really what it does? Yeah, like, you know, so it's just for that reason, it's like my only gripe, and we're really splitting hairs here.
Yeah.
But Vince Vaughn, I think Vince Vaughn, he's like a goofy cop, like that makes sense. Like that role makes sense.
All right, let's go to review number 2. What we got here? All right, this is a 3-star one. As lovely as it is deeply stupid, like a Matrix knockoff designed by a committee of Bob Flanagan, Damien Hirst, and Henry Darger, at its best, genuinely upsetting, freak out distilled from a lot of ostentatiously grim, intrinsically misogynistic pop serial killer imagery, and at its worst, reinforcing the stereotypical crap about violent mental illness being rooted almost exclusively in sexual dysfunction and trauma. Wow.
Well.
Wow.
All right then, bud. I feel like they used a thesaurus to write that.
I mean, that's someone bringing out their $10,000 words right there. Like
somebody was triggered. I think
someone was triggered. So let's talk about this. Is this a Matrix knockoff?
I don't think intentionally, is it?
I think
Matrix is 99. This is 2000.
First of all, I mean, the only thing I could think of, and this is just my knowledge of Hollywood, so you actually live there, you might know it, but from my knowledge, everyone talks. So I can imagine that while at the same time certain films are being made, people are hearing about them and maybe drawing aspects into them. And it's also a thing too where like scripts get passed around to different studios. So I think that it's perfectly within the realm of possibility that, you know, someone read The Matrix and someone's writing The Cell and they're like, oh, I like that part about going inside of a dreamish world. Can we mix the two? So I wouldn't be surprised, but
well, you know what they say, right? They say that good artists copy and great artists steal.
That's right.
So.
I don't think it's a knockoff. I think it falls in parallel with the style of movie from this time. That's what I think it is.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
You know, just like, you know, we could easily say the movie Equilibrium with Christian Bale is also a Matrix ripoff, even though that movie came out years ago. Oh. That's on the DVD rack over here. Want to finish this review because they go into a bit of a rant about mental health and sexual dysfunction related to serial killers. I think that Hollywood will never be able to accurately portray any sort of mental illness.
No.
And here's the reason why. Here's the reason why. People who can accurately write mental illness have to have it.
Yeah. Or work with people who have it.
You know, like I have known people who have dealt with mental illness, and it's a thing where my third-hand experience with it is nowhere near the realm of what they are dealing with. So unless even if the writers and producers like met with real serial killers, which let's be honest here, they did do that. Even if they did that, they're not going to get a full accurate depiction. So to claim like, oh yes, this movie doesn't do a full accurate depiction. Guess what? No movie does.
I have to say, I agree with what you're saying, but also John Ronson wrote a book about this. It's called The Psychopath Test. Yeah, so if you guys, movie listeners, I know that you guys like movies, but if you like books too, The Psychopath Test by John Ronson covers the idea of how do you prove that someone's a psychopath? Mm-hmm. How do you do that? There's no criteria by which we've invented the criteria, but psychopath is a spectrum. So the book sort of explores where he goes to interview this psychopath to see, you know, what makes him a psychopath. And he doesn't seem like a psychopath. That's the whole point. Like, that's what makes him a psychopath.
That's the whole deal.
So it's a really good book. You guys might like it.
Yeah. All right, let's go to review number 3. The scientists, I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. Let's see if I can zoom out, and then we're going to zoom into it. These scientists are idiots. Placing Jennifer Lopez into my comatose subconscious is one way to guarantee I'll never wake up.
I mean, no, for real, though.
I mean, we did say she's gorgeous. I mean, we get it. Like, you know, you're going to get stuck with J-Lo in your brain, and that ain't bad. Okay.
Can't complain. I mean, you know.
I mean, okay. I mean, hey, whatever was good for you. I mean, good job. You know, that's a fantasy.
The good are again.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to our final review here. If Silence of the Lambs and 7 took acid, and it's fucking brilliant.
Oh, I like that one.
That's a good one.
That's on par with
that's a solid one.
Par with our review.
No, that very much is, I'd say, in line with this. Yeah, no, good one on there. I mean, I only give him 3.5 stars. What the fuck, man? Yeah. What the fuck?
Well,
okay.
Maybe I have more appreciation for it now than I did when I originally saw it, but
I know I do. I know that rewatching this, for me, I watched it last night. Definitely gives me a better appreciation for it as a film, and especially for things like the costume design. And as I said, just how disturbing it is. Like, this movie is very disturbing to watch. It's one that, like, you can't be watching your phone while watching this one. This is one you got to put the phone down and be like, we're committing 100% to this film, because if you do that, it's going to grab you and not let go. Yeah,
watch it with the lights off.
I did. And I watched it right before bed. I'm like, oh, this is what we're going to be watching. But, yeah, no. Final thoughts, Jordan, on The Cell?
Final thoughts on The Cell. Dr. J-Lo saves the day and keeps the dog. I'm taking the dog, dumbass. You do, Coolidge. I'm sorry.
I'm taking the dog, dumbass.
She took the dog.
She did take the dog. What are new things happening with you? You're working on something brand new, right?
Finally, yes, I finally got my YouTube channel set up.
Woo!
So you guys can follow me. Yeah, you can follow me over there. YouTube at Jordan the Grey Witch. I do not have any videos up right now. You can go follow me there now, but I am making exclusive content for YouTube. I'm super excited. You guys have been asking me to do YouTube, like all the people on my channel, my followers, but please, YouTube, please, for years. Like it's been years.
Really?
So I'm finally taking the dive on YouTube. So you guys can follow me there. Of course, I'm on Blue Sky, Instagram, and TikTok at Jordan the Grey Witch.
Nice. And of course, if you have loved this episode, please do me a favor and share it. Share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it with your favorite Dreamwalker. Do all that stuff. That's great. On top of that, if you want to follow us on your favorite podcast app of choice, please do me a favor and go to cinemapsychoshow.com/follow. You can hit that button and boom, you can follow us on anywhere you get podcasts. There's little buttons there for Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, all of them. On top of that, if you're watching us here on YouTube, hey, thank you for doing that. Do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button and hit the bell for post notifications, because all that shit really does help us out. It really does. It helps get us out into the algorithm worlds and get our podcast seen by more people. And we want that. And with that said, we will see you next time.